Hi,
Hi,
YouTube.
YouTube. So by now you should have watched the 10 Dimensions video.
Do your homework, kids. It's right here if you haven't.
And this will be our dissertation on how we view the 10th dimension and how we view reality.
So our vision of reality is basically synergistic panentheistic view. Synergy is the idea that the effect of the whole is always greater than the sum of the effects of its parts. So the 10th dimension being the whole will always have a greater effect than all of its subparts will. Subparts including space, time, us, you, like everything.
Mm-hmm. Now, don't confuse panentheism with pantheism. Panentheism is all in God. Pantheism is all God. Now, if the universe imploded,
And
it was a pantheistic, right? And if it was a pantheistic worldview, then God would be obliterated. Now, if you held a panentheistic view and the universe imploded, then God would still exist.
So pantheism is okay. I'm God.
Let's say.
Let's say the universe is my hand, or I guess the universe would actually have to be me if it was pantheistic. So if I cease to exist, then God ceased to exist. Panentheism is I'm God and the universe is my hand. So my hand gets chopped off, but God is still okay, right? Sort of. Sort of. But basically, we sort of tie all these things together. We don't really see how you can't tie all these things together. Because, 10th dimension, all things are held within the 10th dimension, right? So if God exists, and God is a thing, that doesn't really make sense, because God would be within the 10th dimension. But most people see God as the most powerful thing, right? But we just talked about synergy, so the most powerful thing is the 10th dimension. So the 10th dimension sort of has to be God. Panentheism, all things are held within God. All things are held within the 10th dimension. Therefore, the 10th dimension is God. So, that's basically how we see it.
And so how does this apply to us?
Yeah, how does this apply to us? Well, we're going to tell you the story of how we got here, or at least how we see it that we got here, and that we're, experiencing why we're here on YouTube now, and you're watching us on YouTube. You obviously have nothing else to do. But basically, 3 definitions: occurrences, experiences, and self-realization, which has multiple levels of awareness, but we'll get into that in a moment. So, occurrences.
Okay. Occurrences basically is anything that happens, regardless of anyone or anything's experience or awareness of it. Such as if a tree falls in a forest and no one is around to hear it, does the tree make a sound?
We don't care. The occurrence happened.
Right.
The tree fell. That's all that matters as far as occurrences are concerned. So experiences would be one of us being there to hear the tree make a sound, right? Or be hit by the tree or whatever may happen, right? But what's a better example?
So I don't know, like a kid hurts his knee and he's like, "Mommy, I hurt my knee." Well, then he basically had an experience, and but that also takes some form of abstract awareness to
be able to say
right.
that he hurts it. Because obviously, if you can use the word I, me, my, or mine, you know you exist because you have to know the meaning of the word to be able to use it. But, what differentiates that between the knowledge that we have, right? Hate to do this to you, but you're now aware of your breathing patterns. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's where the kid is at. His knowledge of his existence is dependent on the state of his existence. Now, the level that we're at is where I can say, you're now aware that you're aware of your breathing patterns. So that's whenever you reach the point where your knowledge of your existence isn't dependent on the state that you're in, just the state of existence itself. So basically, that's the point that we see as the beginning of existence, like, the whole creation story, I guess you could call it.
Now, to clarify, the 10th exists above or What's
Yeah,
a better way?
above.
Above its subparts. It's not dependent on the subparts. Like when it comes to like, you can't define the 10th dimension by the third and the fourth dimension.
As we see
Right.
the universe. Because that doesn't cover all of it. The universe is infinite. It's eternal. So, basically, you get to the point, you have the 10th dimension, and it goes past the point where the kid is at, right? So,
And that causes us to be here and aware that we are here.
yeah, so whenever the universe realizes its existence, all the subparts realize its existence. It's like a room full of people, right? So, say we have a room full of people, and we say that the room of people speaks English. Okay, so whenever we say that, we're basically saying that all the people in the room have to speak English. Because if you have one person in the room that doesn't speak English, then you can't say that the whole room speaks English, can you? So whenever the 10th dimension realized its existence, all of its subparts had to realize their existence, which is why we're here and why we're aware that we're here right now. So how do, what does this mean as far as we're concerned? What are we aiming for? Is it Nirvana? Is it Enlightenment? Is it heaven? What is it? I guess you could sort of, how we've been going at it so far, you would think that it would be realizing our oneness with the 10th dimension, right? But, so we would have to realize our singularity with the 10th dimension in order to reach the popular idea of Nirvana.
Now, okay, well, when it comes to the popular idea of Nirvana, I guess most gurus would have you believe that it comes to a singular point. You reach it, and you're there. It stops. It's stagnant. It plateaus, and that's it.
But why would Nirvana be a point of stopping?
Right.
You'd think it'd be an eternal learning. But basically that causes a contradiction also as far as we're concerned. Because you have the 10th dimension, which realized its existence, which caused us to realize our existence. So we aim to reach the point where we realize our oneness with the 10th dimension, which would cause the 10th dimension to realize its existence. It's just this big, infinity sign, infinity loop. So it's like, are we even really going anywhere?
So if you apply it to the way that we think about it, then you wouldn't really reach the popular idea of Nirvana. There's really no way to do it unless that would basically be the exact opposite of being enlightened. So
you have to ask
what's true enlightenment.
When we basically see that being best phrased by Socrates, frankly. For those of you that don't know the story about Socrates, he was called the wisest man. So he's like, okay, why am I the wisest man? He wanted to know why. So he went around talking to other people that were considered wise, and asking them lots of questions, and basically ripped them to shreds and took them down off that wise pedestal. And he was like, okay, so what makes me wise? I don't know any more than these men, do I? And then he realized, oh wait, I'm wise because I know that I know nothing. Which, again, is funny because it ends up in this circular thing, because if you know that you know nothing, then obviously you know something, which negates the fact that you know nothing, so you can't know that you know nothing. But that's the best way you can put it. So, basically...
So, enlightenment, essentially, is the knowledge that we exist, that we're all part of the 10th dimension, and that we will never really grasp the extent that that entails.
So, back to the breathing thing again, sorry. But you're now aware of your breathing patterns. You're now aware that you're aware of your breathing patterns. And now you're aware of your awareness of your awareness. And it just goes on forever. You can be aware of your awareness, aware of your awareness of your awareness, and, cubed, quadrupled, whatever. It keeps going and going. But that's the true idea of enlightenment. Or at least as we see it. So leave us your comments. We're looking forward to them. And we'll see you guys on the next one where we talk about levels of spirituality.
Bye.
Adios.